Greg T with the Image Stop. Now this is our most recent tutorial on the builder that we use. Now this is called a Divi Builder. We have lifetime licensing with this. So how we use this is, well, to be quite frank, we use this for virtually every single website we built and have done so in the past for the past 3-4 years. Why? It's so versatile. It's an amazing builder. Now in that, if you are hosting with us or you are signed up with our maintenance programs, right straight up, you are under our licensing. You don't have to worry about it. So this is a bit of a video to give you an idea of what this builder it does, how it can be used, and an overview of how it does. So we're going to use one of our site building websites that we use when we're doing some of our building and preparatory work for our clients, and we're going to use that as our sample. So here we go. We're just gonna log in from the start and show you right through everything. So bang, if you haven't actually experienced using WordPress, we do use WordPress exclusively for the building of our sites. Now this is what it looks like when you sign in as an admin to the backend dashboard. You got your dashboard here. You got a quick overview of what's been going on the site. You notice the site health status. I will address that in a moment. But first, what I like to do is let's make this so it's easy for you to use. Up in the top right there, you see a little tab that says Screen Options. You click that. That allows you to turn on and off different things that you may want to have available when you first log in. These are things that we like, so we fine-tune this, but you can add the welcome, so on and so forth. Your call. Again, nothing more than fine-tune. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to see a whole bunch of tabs. Now, those are for the different areas within WordPress for things that you are able to do within your site. If you see a circle with a red circle with a number in it, that just means there's something to draw your attention to. In this case, you see that there's updates available and comments. We will be doing that or showing you how to do that here. First, I want to show you the site health screen. Now, there's different things are going to show up when it comes to different websites. In this particular case, it's saying that we have plugins and themes waiting to be updated. That's true. We know that. We saw the update. No big deal. In fact, I'm not going to update it right now while we're doing this video, but it's something I will do right after, just to clean things up. Then there may be other things. Now, to some of our hosting, it may say that that some of the automatic backend backups or scans aren't available. That's okay, because this has been disabled at the hosting level, because when it comes to things like core files, which being the whole WordPress core, are paused and not updated immediately upon release, just to make sure that there's no glitches and everything, and then they are updated later. So that is not an issue. If you have any questions, definitely get in contact with us, send us an email, we'll answer and check that out for you. So that's the walkthrough as far as how that all looks. Up at the very top, you'll see in that menu there, you've got things as far as the website building area, that how to visit your site. You can go here. It shows you how many comments you have. Comments we usually turn off, so I would ignore that. Don't worry too much about that. Here is for adding new posts, adding media to your site, adding a new page, project, or user, that kind of thing. And again, this is the admin side, so you've got lots of things here. I'm not going to go too in-depth into WordPress itself, but I will, allude to some things as we go. So as we kind of scroll down on the left-hand side, same things, your posts, pages, and media, and so on and so forth. That's the first section. Projects we very rarely use in our site builds. Going down here into the appearance and down further, this is where you get into some of the more technical side. Appearance is where this is where you would upload the theme. The theme is the Divi theme that we use for a builder. Plugins are the different, the extra things it can use. Now, they can add bells and whistles when it comes to special things within the website. Now you see here, there's not that many plugins. Now it's best to try and keep things that way with most websites, because the more plugins there are, the more scripts and coding and information that is uploaded and added to your site or added when you go to a site. So it has to be found, and then it causes a little bit more load time, and they can conflict. So as few things in there as possible is a kind of a best practices. Moving down, we have our users and stuff here, tools, so forth. I'm not going to get into that, like I said, but here, the Divi Builder, that one we are going to cover. So I'm going to go right to our theme options. Theme options area. This is how we kind of set everything up to do the basic framework of the website. As most people that have used WordPress or are somewhat familiar might know, is that the way WordPress works is you get a theme, you upload it, and that's the basic framework, and then you just kind of put up the walls and add the decorations inside the house, if you will. Divi is done differently in that it allows you to build every page from scratch, page by page, and go into dramatic detail as far as what you can do and how you can alter the page. It gives you much more control, and it's quite in-depth. In the theme options here, you'll start right now. This is where you upload your logo to your site. So if we click here, this is going to show us all the different back-end stuff that we have as far as imagery and stuff is concerned. I'm not going to upload one. We already have that one there, so it's all good. Different things as far as color picker. This is a nice thing if you're working on building and doing things. If you have a specific color palette that's used for your branding, you can literally go into this section here and put in the hexadecimal color, or drag and find that coloring so that that is what appears there, and that will then appear on the internal pages as you're creating things. And I'm going to put that there so that you can always use the correct colors throughout the entire site. Kind of handy that way. Great on the branding side. Again, these are just kind of main settings here. If you've got some of the social media things, you notice that it only has really Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, which is now defunct, so not to worry about that. Instagram, say you have things like LinkedIn, so on and so forth. Well, over here on that left-hand side, we also have a plugin called Divi Booster we've added. It adds more functionality, including adding some of the other social media platforms to your website. And scrolling down, you can read some of these things and check them out. This isn't the main point of this tutorial. The main point is to actually go through the builder itself. But I'm going to make sure that some of these are added because it is important to have. Back to top button is an important one. For instance, if you scroll through a site, especially if you're on mobile, you want that back to top button so you don't have to keep scrolling and using your thumb, or in the case of a desktop, using your mouse to scroll back up and down. Nice to have that where you just click the one arrow and it pops to the top. Smooth scrolling, nice and smooth, and I guess easy flow is kind of important. These two here, the minify and combine JavaScripts and CSS files, very important when it comes to page loads. What that does is it actually compresses some of those codes that I mentioned earlier, and it makes it so that it loads faster when it comes to how people get to your site. Now, some people think, and and to a certain extent, there's some correct to it, is that the better and more expensive hosting you have, the faster your site is. Generally, that is kind of true. However, when you get to really great hosting that has proper browser caching and user caching, and on the hosting level, your sites can be loading very quickly. This here just accentuates that and makes it even better because it combines those scripts and makes it so that it's one straight load. Again, this is kind of why you don't add too many plugins. Now here in the last bit, it's custom CSS. Show this for people who might like to dig a little bit deeper and maybe customize some of their website and do things as far as adding specific, bells and whistles and back-end stuff. This one, for instance, we have a mobile menu that we've added and changed so that the mobile menu shows up differently. There's other ones for, and CSS is cascading style sheets. What that does, it affects the styles, if you will, from the entire site. So you can change things that are site-wide here. And that gives you that quick overview. I'm just going to click the change there because I did change the back to top smooth in that color, so we'll do that. Now, jumping through to the next section because this is the most important one, and we're just going to go straight to some page building. So let's show all the pages here. We've got a whole bunch of different pages here. I'm just going to add a new page to show you how this can look. Now, here's the fun part, and we'll just call this test page. Now, if you've had the experience with the WordPress, this looks very much like regular WordPress backend right now. Operates the same way. This isn't the new WordPress kind of the block system that they have. This is the old one. I've actually got the new one turned off because this is an easier interface. But yeah, we're going to use the builder. So we're going to go right to clicking using the Divi builder. That's going to then load this up. Now, in your installation, you may have your builder may just say your particular site or the IS builder. That's just because we have some customization that we've done, and don't worry about that. It is the same builder as far as how it works and operates. So right now, I'm going to go build from scratch, and we're going to start that. Now, you notice on every website, now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go to open a page in a new tab here. I do that quite a lot, so don't mind me here. I'm going to use not a proposal. Let's use the internal one. I'm going to go and view that page. And of course, that didn't turn up the way that I wanted, so let's not use that one. What I want to do, I'm looking for an example that's going to show us a little bit more of the sections and rows, and this one helps. So in this case, we've got a menu over to the left-hand side. That's just the way this has been stylized. And you notice that the sections here are all set up. So Websites are basically built in a grid pattern. If you okay, so there's like there's sections, then rows which have different formats or setups for columns, and then you've got your individual models or areas within those rows and columns. I'm going to go back to the edit page here. There's the section, so we're going to call that the same here. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's do this. I am going to, instead of using this from scratch, I'm going to load this from the library. I'm going to go to our existing pages. And which one is this? The 3 sites one. I'm going to say load the existing one. Neat thing with this builder is you can just clone pages and just change the content as easy as clicking a button, just like what we did right there. Very cool. So if I now publish this page, this one is called test page, and once it's finished publishing, we're going to go and say, take a look here. And view page. There we go. It's going to show up and look very much like the same one we hear. As far as the content here, we're not worried about the menu. That's a plugin, an extra add-on I have for this particular site that a lot of sites don't use, and that actually is so we can select individual or different menus on different pages. It's going to need a handy thing, but not needed for most sites. So anyway, though, but look at this section here. There's your section there, the contractor proposal. There's this section here, and then again, one full row. And then we have this in 2 columns where we've got these here and then a video. Well, let's see how that works. I'm going to use at the top the Enable Visual Builder. Click that there. I guess I should add here too. This is me here, and I also have Stacy sitting here with us. She's not saying anything. That's okay. No, and what I've done though is I'm showing Stacy how to use this too. And if she has any questions, she's going to jump in. Just because as a client, you may have questions as well, and it's important because me using this day in and day out, it's all kind of that's what I do. It makes it just easy. There may be other questions that pop in. So let's go back to this. So here's our sections. As I said, so here we look at this, and if you mouse over anything, what you're going to notice, and that's a little at the top, but if you mouse over it, it will then actually give you a thing and say this is a section. Okay, so if I go and click there, this is that section here is in the blue. Over here in the green, this is going to be row settings. Okay, down here, these are different modules. Okay, the gear is for settings. The arrows are for moving. These are literally drag and drop at this stage. This here is for cloning it, so duplicating the exact whole section or row or module, depending on what you're on. This is changing the column structure. You notice that's different than the other menu there. This one here, you can actually save something that you're going to use site-wide in a library, and then just simply call upon that in the library and pop it back in. Really nice to have, so there's not a lot of duplication per page. And then of course the trash can to delete things. Let's kind of take a look here. So let's just say we want to change this title. That doesn't work for us. In this case, this is our test page. We don't want it to say the portal. So we go to the gear, we're going to click that, and it's as simple as going right here, test page. You look in the background, that just happened right there. Really simple. Now, every single module that this builder comes with has in the back end, when you go to the gear, content, design, and advanced section. I like to refer to them as beginner, intermediate, and advanced because it kind of applies to how things are done. When we build a site, we preset all of the settings for this. So the fact that this is a bold white font, it's all been preset for the title. If you want to change things, you go to the design or the intermediate section. We're going to go to the title in this case, and there's our heading 1, H1. It's bold. Let's go to regular. We can change that, and let's say we want it to be yellow. That's gross. We won't keep it that way, but you see how it changes things. We can decide we don't want that to be centered. We want that to be left justified instead, or maybe right justified. So a lot of those things can be changed this way. Yes, WordPress gives you the option when you're in this area, and I'm just going to put a whole bunch of random text here. It does give you the option to make those changes as far as right, left justification and stuff here. I would recommend ignoring that unless you're going to set just simply the heading stuff, because the intermediate section here is really the best way for changing all of those things site-wide or module-wide to make it comfortable. And I will show you why in just a second, because this is a really cool thing. But I want to also go on the advanced side. On the advanced, that gets into the coders, the people who know how to add some of those the CSS and do all things to change things deeper, if you will, than the other two settings. Very rarely is that needed for most of our clients, but it is available, and we like that because this that shows how, I guess, versatile this whole builder is. No matter what level you're on, you can, and what you need, yes, it can be done. And that's why we don't rarely ever say no to a lot of sites as far as what's needed. Something that's neat on this level though is this one right here, visibility. Because it says here, so visibility, disable on phone, tablet, and desktop. Every section can be adjusted for the size of screen, the generic size of screen, whether it be desktop, tablet, or phone, so that it can be, I guess the size changes, the boldness changes, whatever in those sections. All the sites we build with this builder are responsive in that they will shift and change depending on screen size. So in this case, if for instance you have a large graphic that you want to show on the desktop version, but on the phone, it's a bit of a slow load and people don't want to see this big image, they just want more information, you can literally go in and turn that off on phone. Really cool. In this also, say you're building something, you're not sure you're ready to go or want to go live, you can click and disable it on everything. You see it goes gray or goes into a faded version in the back end. What that does is it hides it from view. That will not show up to anybody who logs into your site unless they're in the admin area and in the editing for that matter. And you can then go back to it in any given day and go and finish what you're working on. So kind of neat. In this case, I'm not going to save this, but you notice here, you can click this right here, the arrow at the bottom, to save changes. You can click here to redo things. You can click this, of course, to undo things. And this is for discarding all changes. In this case, I am going to discard things because I did a lot of messing with stuff. So we're going to leave that. So that's your basic there. Now let's kind of show on how to add a section and how that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and delete a whole bunch of sections first of all, because we really don't want all these things. So I'm going to get rid of this stuff in here. A lot of extra things that we maybe don't want on our website at this point, because I want to stick to some very simple explanations here. Perfect. So keeping it simple. Let's add a new section. We're going to add a new section right below the title where it says IS Contractors Portal. And I'm going to, so how you do that is you go here, look at that, add new section. Clicking there, it gives you the option on how to set this up. Regular section, a specialty. Specialty gives you columns that allow to, I guess, variants of different variables in there. I'll show you that. Actually, when you click on it, it shows you. Kind of neat there, right? But I'm going to go back there. Let's say that isn't what I want. I'm going to add a regular section. It's also full width. But I'm going to go regular and look at this. I talk about the rows. Here's how you can select your column structure. Really cool to say, okay, you know what, maybe you want a video in the center with text to the left and something else to the right. Well, you want 3 columns. Let's pick this one here. It automatically sets that up for you and immediately goes, let's insert a module there. Kind of cool. So let's go with video. Well, I'm going to take this video and I'm going to drag it up there first just to show you how the drag and drop works. Cool. And then we're going to click that and we're going to say, okay, I want to add a new module. And I said we want to add text. So we're going to do a scroll through and see all the different modules that are available. I encourage any clients who are taking a look at this to just get an overview of all the different things that are available to be adding to your site through the builder. This right here is why we don't have so many plugins. Most people are used to working with WordPress is if you want something, a new bell and whistle, if you will, added to the site, you got to find a plugin that does it. This builder very likely has that plugin already available, which is really cool. If there's something that you need and it's not here, you're not sure, contact us. We can probably help you out. So I said we're just going to add text here. So let's just kind of scroll down. There's our text. And it automatically puts some filler text in. We're just going to use that for now. What this filler text does, it uses the default that's we've already preset with the installation. That we do preset with the when we build a site. I'm going to go to that gear though and show you. So here it is. It's just regular. Regular paragraph there. We go in, we can see the text, and we can say, okay, it's 16 pixels. That's pretty normal anymore for sizing. Some sites used to be at 14. Believe it or not, when we start building sites, 12 was the norm. Really tiny, right?
As we get older.
That's really, so as I get older, so does this. Thank you for that. That's good. So I'm going to make this purple text just because I can. We can make it all capitals. We can make it italics. We can make it, the upper lower title text. We can go with underlines. There's so many strike through. Neat that we can play with all this stuff. We can even go here and make it bold. Oops, not light, not regular. And that's actually hard in the eyes. Let's go black. But it's neat. Size, you can space the letters out more. You can actually change the line height. and stuff. And as I mentioned, how this can be used for different screen sizes. You notice here. So anything you're not sure about, put your cursor over top, and it will explain it to you, which is really good here. This is answering your question. This one right here, I really love, because we go there, and this is going to show us how it might look like on different size screens. So there's our desktop. Let's go to a tablet, and it reformats that.
Oh, neat.
Isn't that cool? And you notice what it does is it put that video here, and it takes the text and moves it to the top.
Yeah.
Really nice. Now on phone, we go here, not bad. We'll say on phone, we say, you know what, that's a little bit too big. We want it a 14. So we can do that, but then if we go here to the tablet and we go to the desktop, it stays at 16 on that. So that's how much you can fine tune things. People like that because they'll change some of their headers to, at the top here to read different sizes on depending on the platform or the screen they're being or device are being viewed on. What can happen too is with some, I'll just kind of click out of here, say it might cut off at the PROPOS and AL be on another line. You can switch that size wise. Now we try to adjust that when we do this, the building of each site as well, but how many different size screens do we have with different phones? Right? We can only do so much. So we do our best, and if there's any issues, let us know. We can fix it, no big deal. Okay, let's go back over here. We're going to show you lastly here, and we're almost done with the tutorial because this is just giving you a good overview. But there's all these different things you can add, including there's a code section where you can add some JavaScript stuff. So say, for instance, I worked with a client's site today. They had some JavaScript from an association that they've just been accredited with. By adding the JavaScript, it pulls in that logo to that portion of the site. So we're able to add the code right there with that without having to go into the back end and do any weird finagling in the back end of the site, which is cool. Contact form. You love this. There you go. There's your contact form already set up for you there. Kind of neat there. Now it's deeper ways of doing things. We would have potentially different tutorials on how to work with each of these areas or can send those to clients. That's why we say to have a look and see. This tutorial, it's about 25 minutes. That's pretty normal for our tutorials. To go into and see how all these things can work. So that you can add some of the new things that might work for you. Right down here, for instance, where it says SEO notes, that's a toggle. Here we can add, and let's just go for fun. Let's go for a circle counter. We're going to say to site done, and we're going to put a question mark. And right now we're going to say it's 80% done. So this thing will come up and animates that way. And which brings me to pretty much the last point here. There's so many things that all these things will do. We cannot possibly explain that in one tutorial. It would take several hours. But let's show you one, little fun way. And this, actually get out of here. This is a way to, when we're building a site, there's different ways of getting people to really focus on certain areas of your site, specifically when we're talking call to actions in a website that we've built or that our clients are using. Let's say this has a call to action, or this is a main area that we want people to really notice. If it just simply loads on the site like this, okay, fine, it's there. They might notice it. That's good. But let's do this. I'm going to go to our design section, scroll down to the bottom, go to the animation, and we're going to have that slide in, and we're going to go slide left. And it's going to fly into the site this way. Now the neat thing with that is animations used to take a lot of bandwidth and take a lot of extra space and time for loading and stuff. Not as much with this builder anymore. Really nice to do that. And let's add to it here and say, you know what, that's really good. We want this section to be outlined. So let's do something neat here. Go here, we're gonna go to the border. You can pick top, right, bottom, left, or all. I can add border here. We can change the color of that border, make it here. Awesome. And let's do one other neat thing and say, you know what, I don't want that touching. Well, here's a neat way to do it. I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, oops, 2%. And I'm going to go here, and copy and paste that here too. And that adds an extra 2% all the way around as we do there, just as a little cushion for the padding. Awesome there, kind of looks neat. And lastly, let's make it so we have a nice little shadow around it. Neat. That's how, once this is all set in play, you can play with it and add things to your site and do that. And we do this because once we've built the site, then our clients can have control over doing some of the extras and making it work this way. We understand this isn't something that they necessarily do all the time, so we are also there to help. So that's it. That pretty much sums up the basic tutorial on how this builder works. As we say, it's really involved. We also do have and can do videos specific to areas where clients need assistance, whether it be entering blogs in your website, because we've built templates and systems to make it easier for you there, as well as adding new things to your pages, contact forms, how to make sure they're sent to you, how they contact form and how it's received, and all the information in that email does get to you, and how that's all noted. So please reach out, and if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, enjoy your builder, and I hope we're getting to work with you on this, because it's a lot of fun. Thanks. Take care.